Hello, my name is Dean Contover. This is the Current Buzz. And we have Dr. Jeff Parks. He's the principal of the Parker Middle School. So let's get down to it because I have a lot of questions to ask him. And thank you for coming, Dr. Parks.
Yes, my pleasure.
He is a doctor, so I have to talk to him as a doctor. So Jeff Parks has been the principal of the Parker Middle School. We were talking earlier, 11 years. It's hard for me to believe, right? And let me ask you this question. Has anything happened in the last couple of years at the school?
Yeah, no, routine, just push reset and say, nothing big. Yeah.
Nothing big. All right, the first thing I want to talk about, which is the most recent thing, is that Parker Middle School wins contest. Channel 25 had a contest. Yes. How did the school get involved in this contest? I want to know the story behind the story, because usually you read about it in the paper or, that you guys are one of the 6 schools. Yep. How did that happen?
So at the end of the summer, like late August, early September, right when we were getting started, I saw on Boston 25 an advertisement for the contest called My School Rules. And at first glance, I didn't think much of it. And then I saw it online a couple of times, on Twitter a couple of times. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna enter us in there.
Good for you.
The teachers and students have been working incredibly hard. We've dealt with so much over the last couple of years.
Yeah, especially COVID-19.
Wouldn't this be a nice way to at least recognize them? And I was not expecting the success that we had in the contest when I filled it out. So by task, I just wrote a little paragraph about the school. It was 500 words or less. Tell us about your school and why your school rules. So I did that and sent it in, and then sure enough, 2.5, 3 weeks later, we got a phone call to the main office from Boston 25 saying that based on the essay that was submitted,
good,
we were one of 2 finalists. And so they selected 2 from elementary, 2 from middle, and 2 from high school. And and then it really kind of rolled from there, where they sent a reporter out to do a story.
For each school, in other words.
For each school,
for
correct.
Each school, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they sent a reporter out, and they did, interviewed me, some students, one of our staff members,
right.
And each of the 6 schools had a segment where their story aired, and then it was on the voting. The voting was on. So really, it was the 2 elementary schools were competing, the 2 middle against each other, and the 2 high schools against each other.
And how do you get so many votes? I just want,
So, well, I'll tell you. So, in the other middle school that we went against we were neck and neck, and it was upwards of 30,000 votes for each school, which was really a lot more than the other 2 levels too.
Right.
I think both schools took a similar approach. I'm involved in my school social media stuff.
Right.
We have a lot of teachers who are doing the same.
Right.
We got the kids pumped up about it, and I kept sending reminders home, making morning announcements about it, and just letting everyone know. I was very clear with the students and staff. This is a one-shot deal. This isn't something that if it does, we don't win, let's do it next year and stuff. Like to have the opportunity to have like this public recognition for how great everybody is doing.
Right. Good.
Let's take advantage of it. We got to jump on it. So I just, I participated. Everybody sent it to friends, family members, like you
High
name
school.
It. High
Chelmsford
school.
High School.
Chelmsford High School. We had one of our former students, who's the class president, Marcus Hernandez. He made announcements up at the high school and pumping people up. So it was really cool to see all of our former students, kids at CHS voting, and people in the community just
people
jumped on it.
Graduated too. Let's not forget.
Yeah, all of our grads. Yeah, you name it.
Yeah.
I think, and I was getting nice messages through different social media channels and stuff like that, and even a couple emails from guys that I grew up with or people I grew up with. I haven't heard from in years.
No kidding.
Hey, we saw the thing, and I sent it to my whole fire department, or I sent it to my whole workplace and stuff. So that's really working.
Yeah, or college telling their friends to.
Everybody, yeah. A lot of our staff members do have children in college right now who were blasting it out to all of their friends. So the networks just kept on.
Yeah. Good for you.
It was cool.
So, what did you win? What was the, in essence, and what are you going to do with the winning?
Yeah. So. They came on October 28th, a couple weeks ago today, and they did a live broadcast from the school.
Right.
We had all of our students and staff out front, so about 800 people right out in front of the school.
I
which
did
was
see that
really
video.
Cool. Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, cool.
And so they sent Gene Levanchi out, and he did an interview, and the gentleman, Chris DeBella, who owns the law firm that sponsored and was like the motivation.
Where's he located? Where was he?
He's located, I want to say Quincy area,
Oh, okay.
somewhere
All right.
in that area. I'm not 100%.
That
He
was
has a couple
nice
of
that they,
offices. Amazing, and it was wonderful to meet him. He's such a great guy to talk
Right.
to. So they came and we did the live broadcast with the recognition, which is huge.
Yeah, no doubt.
The accolades. DeBella Law donated $5,000 to our school, in each of the winning schools, and the schools, the runners-up, each got a check for $1,500. So just for being recognized, it was a win for every school involved.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So with our $5,000, we are putting it toward bringing therapy dogs, wellness dogs into the school to work with the students and staff. So to help continue to support, like we were joking in the beginning, nothing new has happened, but we know that it's been very stressful. So bringing dogs in to interact with students and staff to help put some smiles on the faces, ease some stress, and have a fun school community with it.
It's like working dogs for veterans who have
PTSD, similar to that. So there's,
that was nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. So we have the week after Thanksgiving, they'll be coming in for the first time, and we plan on doing it moving forward.
Will a teacher or a student take the dog home, or how is that going to be set up?
So to start, it's really kind of two phases that we're working toward. Okay. To start, we're going to have, we're working with a company, and the district is working with a company to bring dogs in. It'll be for a few hours, once or twice a month for the remainder of the school year. That's where we're starting. I'm also working, and I don't have a lot of details to share just yet, but working closely with one of our staff members in the community to have a full-time dog that we would own. Working with who would manage it at night and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to work with this company to bring them in a few times, but I'm actually working for something more long-term.
Is this a local company?
It is, yeah.
I think I know the name. I'm just trying to recall, but
She's a Keeper is the company that brought in that are bringing in the dogs.
Oh,
but,
I see.
Yeah, but again, I'm working towards something more long-term where I think I'm confident in the near future we'll have a regular Parker school dog that's going to come and hang out with us every day.
And then you could have a nickname and have all the kids put their
that's it.
Philosophy.
Have the kids vote and make some recommendations and vote.
Cut it down to 5 or 3 or whatever it is.
That's
and then
it.
Wow, that's a pretty
cool.
good idea.
They're starting to pop up. Community resource dogs, and they're starting to pop up in other towns not far from here and stuff. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a common.
It's getting more common, but I want to be on the front end of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to be on the front end.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the goats, right? A couple of years ago.
Yeah. Speaking of the goats, are we going to have the goats back? I know someone that would like to have the goats back.
And I would like to do something to make that person happy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Well, yeah, time will tell. We did a massive courtyard project a couple of years ago, thanks to one of our families.
Impressive.
It looks great.
Yeah.
There isn't as much food for the goats as there used to be.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I wouldn't be opposed to maybe like a shorter stay or something like that, because it really did a lot for the whole school community as far as morale, excitement.
And it was in the paper. They did have
cool.
an article.
Yeah, we've been getting some great recognition. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of that, great recognitions. Have you heard from the governor at all in regards to coming up and visiting the school?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Well,
we're open to.
I'm going to ask
visitors.
the audience to please contact the governor to tell him to come to the Parker Middle School, named after Lieutenant Colonel Moses Parker, who was wounded at Bunker Hill. And if you know the governor personally, please have him contact Dr. Jeff Parks, and so he could come and visit, and he'll show him around the school.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
That'd be
and maybe the goats too.
Yeah, maybe we'll do 2 for 1. Or he can come a day when the
or
dogs
maybe
are
he
here.
is a goat. I don't know. But please do that. Make a phone call down to the State House, and we can see if we can get them up here. And usually, they're amendable. Politicians are amendable to come into schools and visit and so forth, right?
Yeah.
By the way, you had a situation called COVID-19 last year.
Yeah.
How's things going now? Better?
Yeah.
How the kids reacting to be back in school? Because I know some kids took school for granted, and they weren't able to see their friends, and now they
Sure.
appreciate school. So
Yep.
are you getting that, or are you getting the opposite, where people, oh, we're back to school and here we go?
No, I mean, there's certainly been some challenges, you know, no doubt
Yeah,
about
no doubt about it.
But I will say, you know, the large majority, the kids are excited to be back in the routine. They've shown like tremendous resiliency
Right.
in what they've dealt with, and the beginning of the year has been, you know, taxing for a lot of people, for the staff, for a
Right.
lot of kids. And what the term I keep using when I'm talking to people is like, we got to, you know, get back in school shape. And it might not take a month or a term or 3 months, or it might take us the whole year to get back in school shape. But that whole idea of being mentally and physically prepared 5 days a week to come in for the 6-hour, 7-hour day, whatever it is, you know, stay for an activity, go home and do your homework, go to whatever you do at night. Like, it takes routine because, you know, speaking for myself too, even just being out of that routine. When we were remote, I was still coming in, but just having everyone be remote, the whole feel of the day was very different. So it's taking a lot of people time to get back to that. We no longer have district-wide. There's no more remote option. So everybody who's in Chelmsford Public Schools is coming in every day.
Right.
So it's how it used to be.
Let's not forget the teachers. I mean, they struggle with
Yeah.
COVID-19 in regards to going remote, something new. I mean, that now that we have remote, I mean, even businesses are remote. That's
Yeah.
the future. That's it seems like it's the future. Remote all over the world. I mean,
Yeah.
Zoom. No one heard of Zoom till COVID-19 came out, and everybody.
Everyone's
expert.
skilled in it now.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
an expert now.
Expert in Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, the teachers right off the bat, they were asked to do, you know, go home, create these Google Classrooms. We were lucky that our tech department has, we've been trending in this direction, and there's great support.
Right.
But they were really asked, like, not overnight, but, you know, pretty close to it, create these classrooms, figure out how to teach remotely, make sure all the kids are showing up, make it meaningful. So all of these things that were thrown on them. This is, teachers not only at Parker,
Right.
but all over the place.
Right.
It was a huge lift, and I mean they stepped up, and they've just done an amazing job, and you know I know everybody is so grateful for it. Coming back now and looking at the skills that they learned, when you talk to a lot of the teachers, they'll say the skills that they learned by being thrust into it. If we
Right.
try to roll out that over a period of years, it would have been small baby steps.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact that it was like there was no other option, and it was remote when we first went out in March 13th of 20. Just being thrust into it, people just picked it up. And now they take what they learned from all of that remote and the hybrid year last year into this year, and their tech skills are just so much greater than what they were able to do before. So that's like the silver lining of
I'm
it.
going to have a woman in. She writes for a tech magazine. She's a graduate of Chelmsford High School.
Cool.
20 years ago. I don't know if she went to the Parker. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I will talk to her about it. She said that's a future in regards to businesses and so forth. Because I talked to her on the phone.
Yeah.
And she writes for these periodicals, for these tech magazines.
Oh, wow.
And it's all computer. She said to me, I said, do you have a business card? She says, no. I said, well, when you go to these shows in Las Vegas or wherever these shows are, do you ask people for business cards? She says, they look at me like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even business cards are kind of waning
Right.
in popularity. So,
Yeah.
what the heck, So, let me ask you a couple of things about the school. We have a little time left. School safety, everything is going well in regards to COVID-19. Kids adjusting or not adjusting, or is it both worlds?
No, they've adjusted.
Yeah.
Sure, we have to remind some kids to
Yeah.
pull your mask up and this and that,
Yeah.
little things like that.
Right.
But for the most part, we don't have the distancing requirements that we had
I see.
at this time last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not 6 feet everywhere and 3 feet everywhere and stuff like that. We keep the kids separated as best we can, but everybody's wearing a mask at all times.
All right. Except for lunch.
Except for lunch. Yeah, exactly. Except for lunch.
And
We've
they
been-
dine in.
They do,
Did
yeah.
you just get a new kitchen?
We did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
How's that working out?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
great, yeah. It look, not only cosmetically, but just all new equipment. We have a new staff in there. It's great. We're really moving in a good
So
direction with
kids are
food service.
eating in the cafeteria
Yeah.
versus bringing in
Oh, yeah.
food from home?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
And this year, breakfast and lunch is free for students. It's all government
Good,
subsidized right
good.
now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we have a great breakfast program that a lot of kids are taking advantage of.
Can I come in and have breakfast?
Yeah, we'll treat you. We'll treat you. Staff pays, but
Yeah, right.
I'll gladly buy you
okay.
breakfast one day.
Staff
yeah,
pays.
staff pays. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as the CAF is concerned, what we've been doing is inviting students to eat out inside or outside. So the weather has been cooperating, especially today, but the weather's been cooperating.
Is that why you had the tent in the back?
Last year,
Last
yes.
year,
Yep.
yeah.
That was part
Okay.
of it, just to provide
All right.
a little bit of relief and
Yeah.
shade, because we had it up until the end of the school year.
Right.
But we have about 180 kids in each grade, roughly, and they'll go down to the CAF at the same time. Actually, let's say about half stay in so they can spread out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other half will go and they'll eat outside. We put barrels out there and stuff like that. And they've been, the kids of all grade levels, took a little bit of training in the beginning, but they've responded well. They like the privilege of being able to eat outside. So they eat and then they have the rest of the time to play.
Are they better students after they have a meal in the morning? And
Yeah, you know, I
there's
think
no
it's-
numbers on that, or you just.
There are. I don't know them, but I think the data will show that kids who eat breakfast have better productivity throughout the course of the day. At the same time, I know there's a lot of kids who are like, I'm just not hungry in the morning, but by the time they go down to lunch, they're
Starving,
they're
yeah.
starving, right? They're
Yeah.
ready to go. So we do have our staff will build in, like, if there's a grade level that eats late or eats particularly early, they might build in a snack time either in the morning or afternoon and stuff like that. So it's not, it's not perfect for everybody, but you just try to create opportunities for kids to, let's fulfill the purpose, right? You want them to
Right.
feel good, you want them to be happy coming here, and you want them to learn. So
Right.
anything we can do to make that happen.
There's no stigma in regards to lunch, because there used to be a stigma if kids got free lunches and if kids had to pay for
Yeah.
it. And that weighed heavily on kids.
No doubt. It's very different now. So all kids have, it's a sign of the times, I guess, they have a PIN number. So the kids will go down to the CAF on an average day and either tell their number to the folks working in the kitchen,
Right.
or they'll punch it in on their own.
Okay.
Nobody knows. So yours might be free. The kid behind you might be paying because it's an account.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, we're not dealing with
Right,
cash
right.
anymore
Good,
and stuff like
good,
that.
That's good.
No golden ticket for the
Yeah.
student who gets it free and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So everybody looks the same on the surface.
Yeah, I
so,
think that's so. It's
great.
psychologically damaging for a lot of kids.
especially in this age group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and high school too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know
I think
what they
across
do
the
there.
board, yeah.
Yeah, across the board. Parker Middle School has 5th through 8th grade.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk about the new granite stone outside the building.
sign?
The
Yeah.
well, I don't know whether you call it a sign, a granite sign. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, yeah.
It says Parker Middle School, named after Lieutenant Colonel Moses Parker.
Right.
Lieutenant. I did some research on Mr. Parker. Lieutenant Colonel Parker. He died, he fought in the Battle of Bunker Hill, and I forget the date. I think it was in April or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was captured by he was wounded in the leg. He was captured by the British soldiers, brought into Boston, and died on July 4th, 1775. And he not only was a Minuteman, and what was cool about that? When I would travel with my daughter, and I said, well, my daughter goes to, I didn't tell you guys, but my daughter did go to Parker Middle School, and Jeff was the principal. So what happened was we would travel, and I would tell people that, traveling to different states, that she goes to a school named after a Minuteman. And people loved that.
Thought it was cool.
I mean, they thought it was the coolest thing because, schools are named after, I don't know, superintendents or whatever.
Right, yeah,
But,
residents,
but
yeah.
to name it after a Minuteman, we might think it's normal.
Right.
But when you tell people in another part of the country, usually sometimes they're named after doctors or something,
Yeah.
physicians of the town and stuff. But to name it after a Minuteman, they think it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And I also looked up, he was a Minuteman, then he was a regular, and then he was in the Continental Army. And he was lieutenant colonel. And he fought in the Indian Wars prior to.
Yeah.
So he had experience.
Yeah, that's cool.
I should send you the information. So
It is neat to have such history, the school named after, such important history.
yeah.
our 5th grade teachers do a great job of, talking to the kids about that when they come in social studies and things like that.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
And if you remember, actually you set it up, or at least created the opportunity for us to have the Minutemen come in.
Yeah, that's right.
And they had rededicated the big picture we have in the lobby, which was really cool.
Yeah, that should be lit up a little more, I think. You know what I mean? I could talk to you about
put
that
a light
later.
on it.
Yeah.
But the new granite sign that we have was
Any comments from it?
People love it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
I
it
think
does.
it looks beautiful. And the sign we had before was just a little outdated. It wasn't, kind of serving the
Yeah, it
purpose.
was like the 50th type of sign.
Yeah, with the big flip top and the interchangeable letters and stuff. But
Yeah.
what we have now, I felt like it was important to be able to put Lieutenant Colonel Moses Parker on it, and not just Parker Middle School.
That's
so that was
right.
one of the reasons why we wanted to do that.
That's why you were also in the Parker Middle School wing contest because of that sign.
Yeah,
And,
it made it on the news. So that's
Oh,
something.
it did? Did they?
On the first, on the clip.
Oh,
that was
did they? Oh,
our-
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every school should have that. I mean, you're so lucky to have somebody grant. Was it you didn't get a grant? Somebody said that
it was a donation.
A donation, yeah.
I was contacted by a gentleman who had a son that went through Parker.
Oh.
And he has a family organization called the Fleet Wing Charitable Trust Foundation.
Okay.
And he reached out to me. His son is
Long gone.
yeah, he's been gone for several years.
Okay.
But just a great family, and we were able to keep in touch. And he reached out and said, I'm interested in making a donation. Do you have something in mind? And I have been working toward a sign, and I said, yes, I could spend it tomorrow,
Wow.
So thankfully I had sent him all of the
It was
information.
shovel ready.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I had been doing a lot of research on it, and
Yeah.
was just, kind of going to chip away at the funding and try to tuck money
Yeah.
away to do
Yeah,
it, because
yeah,
it was
yeah.
definitely necessary. But he had reached out, and the timing was great. So we used a local company from Westford, Garside Monuments, they're called. And they had worked with the DPW, so I got the name from
Oh, okay.
our, they had done some other,
Maybe
the
I
sign
should-
at the Chelmsford
maybe-
DPW
Maybe
and
I
stuff
should
like
have
that.
them. Maybe I should have Garside on if you have the information. Have them
Yeah.
on my show.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe they could put a sign in front of my house. Or something.
Current buzz.
Yeah, the current bus. Yeah, that's right. Come to the station. Real quick, I mean, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
ELL students,
Yeah.
do you have them here?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Do we know numbers roughly? ELL means that these people come in and they don't know English.
Yeah.
Do you have a number? I mean,
I'd
ballpark?
say, yeah, we're about 30.
30,
About 30
okay.
out of 730.
So do you have a
roughly.
class for them to go in?
So all of our English language learners are fully integrated into all of our classrooms.
Okay,
So they're in various classrooms depending on their age,
Right.
the grade level, et cetera. We have one teacher who is our ELL teacher specifically.
Okay.
And all that really means is that she helps the kids with not only language acquisition, but helping them get acclimated, friendship groups, helping them meet to create a community.
Okay.
She works directly with the families, helping to,
that's cool.
bring them. Yeah, wonderful. We're lucky we have such a great person, Victoria Carnevale, her name is. Mm-hmm. So
That was nice that you mentioned her name.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
So she's the teacher who does that.
Does she need a para? Do you need paras? And
We need
substitutes?
paras. Yes, we do.
And substitutes?
Yes, and substitutes. Yes,
See,
we do.
any mothers out there or guys who want to be a para, just come call Jeff Parks,
Yes,
right?
please. Yes,
And,
absolutely.
And you pay, right? I don't know how
do,
much you
yeah.
pay. I know substitute teachers are $90.
But even all of the, we use School Spring, which is an
Yeah.
educational website for job applications and things like that. But if anyone is interested, on the Chelmsford Public Schools website, there's a link right on there. Every school needs help. We need
no doubt
subs.
about it.
Particularly here, we need paraprofessionals too. So anyone who might be interested,
Well,
reach
I
out
have,
and we'll
I have a
talk.
minute. What's a para do? Explain. what they do.
Instructional aid, so
Okay.
they'll work closely with special education teacher,
Do
regular
they have
teachers.
do they have to be educated and have an undergrad degree?
An undergrad degree is helpful, associate's degree,
Okay, associates.
but even willingness to be trained,
Okay.
that type of stuff. So there are some parameters, but if someone's interested, I'd be happy to
You have to
kind
be
of
over 18 years old?
talk to them. You do, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about theater and band and orchestra and how they're doing, but it's over. I mean, it's just one of those things. Thanks for coming on.